My name is Bill Blane. The assignment that I was given, since I'm in Fulton County, they assigned me to the State Farm Arena for the 2 days of October 29th and October 30th as a poll watcher. The first day I arrived, I was not sure exactly what to expect, so I just did what they said. I went through the screening process, showed them my credentials. They seemed to be fine at the security entrance. I was there to observe active voters. When they took me up to this upper room, we'll call it, that was apparently where early voting by absentee or mail-in votes were being accounted for. And so I was kind of surprised, like, if I'm supposed to be watching people make actual votes on voting machines and so forth, why was I in this room? So I was a little confused when I walked in, but I was greeted by a poll worker. When I told her I was a poll watcher, she looked at me and said, "You can stand over behind these tables." At first, when I was brought there, I was thinking, well, they just trying to get me away from the actual poll watching, which is where the active voting was. I think the security guard, because she works for the State Farm Arena, I think she brought me up there by accident. And there was a lady that was already there, and she was already engaged with this poll worker, and they were in a dialogue about some of the protocol. And so I just listened in, just trying to figure out why I'm here and what's going on, and began to realize that this lady that I'm standing with on this side of the table is also what I would call her an absentee ballot worker or a watcher, and she was there to watch the absentee ballots be counted. I would say that the room was 50 foot by 50 foot, like a conference room. The tables to my left, where she assigned us, were basically just little barriers. There were maybe 3 or 4 little conference tables that are, 2 foot by 6 foot long or whatever. So they had us like in a row of 3 tables on our side. And that's where this lady and myself were assigned as watchers. But when I walked in, there were probably, I would say, somewhere maybe 20 or 20 plus people in the room. Most of them were standing up at this time. For some reason, they were in groups just talking and so forth. The poll workers, the first table was probably 20 feet away from us, but I could see piles on different desks with these plastic tubs and computers and laptops. But I was listening and witnessing what was going on, and this lady she was asking very articulate questions, saying, "Okay, what is the process these workers should be doing? Why can I not go over and watch these?" And the poll worker was being nice, but just saying, "You just can't do that. You have to stay behind these tables." And she said, "Well, that's just the way this particular precinct has been set up, that these are the rules." And that's where the interesting thing was when this lady was engaging, saying, "How do I know what these people are doing at each station? I can't even see what they're doing." One, that's the first problem. And two, what's the responsibility, because I want to see if they're doing what you're asking them to do. And both of those questions were deflected by saying, "You can't go over there," and two, they're just doing what they're supposed to do. There was the poll worker was not going to give any definition as to what their procedures were. There's some protocols on how to get the job done. She asked that question. I don't know what a poll worker is supposed to do with absentee ballots. Will you tell me that? And the poll worker said, "They're doing their job." So in other words, you're going to have to figure it out and watch it. And she says, "Well, okay, I don't understand that, but now you're making me stand 50 feet away to watch somebody do their job, and I don't know what they're doing. This seems like an impossibility." In that context, this was absolutely not the right way to go about it. If from either side, if I were Democrat or Republican or independent, it doesn't matter. There was no clarity on the mission, and there was no permission to visualize what was going on. Those people should have been able to stand at the table watching the people. And I think that's inappropriate, and that leads to errors, and it leads to problems.